Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Amplify Your Business. Today, I am with the organizing queen. She is Christa Jones, the founder of Rose City Professional Organizing. Welcome to the show today, Christa.
Thanks so much for having me, Lance.
Okay, so let's jump right into things here. What, in your opinion, in your entrepreneurial journey that you've been on, which it kind of sounds like it's been your whole life in a lot of respect, what are three things that every entrepreneur needs to know or understand?
Okay, so from my personal experience, you are going to have to hustle and grind and put in a lot of your own time and energy before you can get to a point where you're going to be able to have enough money to outsource. Now, some people are lucky enough to have money and investment money in the beginning. I did not. And so, yeah, be prepared to hustle and grind, make those sacrifices, and just prepare the people in your life that this is for a season and the goal is, to be able to have the time freedom. And then number two is just focus on doing your strengths, what you're excellent at, what you love, what you're passionate about that lights you up, because that's going to keep the motivation and the momentum going, and start outsourcing and delegating as soon as you can. The stuff that, isn't as fun once you have that revenue set aside for those outsourcing tasks. And that means that you have to manage and invest your money properly. So that's my third point. When I tell people like, oh, how is your profit first set up? They always go, what? Because I follow that profit first model, and it has been a game changer for me and for my business, providing me with not only a steady paycheck, but also with that money that I need to be able to advertise my business and then outsource those tasks I don't want to do.
Before you move on from that, just because there'd be a lot of people that maybe haven't heard the term or read the book Profit First. Mm-hmm. And so can you just explain a little bit of that philosophy so people understand what you're talking about?
Yeah, for sure. So Mike Michalowicz, he explains in Profit First how you want to delegate a percentage of your revenue towards specific things in your business. Like number one is your owner's compensation. Number two would be your profit payouts. Number three is your expenses. Number four is emergency fund. So you want to have different accounts set up for that. When you have a deposit into your account from a customer, from a sale, you know what percentage is going to each of those buckets. And that just keeps things even, and it keeps things consistent. So you're not like stealing from Peter to pay Paul kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, very good. And so definitely a great philosophy to follow, especially for us small businesses, right? Because oftentimes we're just scrambling to try to cover the expenses from one month to the next month. And at the end of the year, we look at it and go, shit, where did the profit go, right? So exactly. Yeah, figuring out a way to pay yourself first in that sense. Yeah. Okay, number three then, what's the third piece of advice?
Oh, I gave you all three. The first one was hustle, the second one was delegate, and the third one was manage your money.
Okay, manage your money. I gotcha. Okay. Perfect. Well, thank you for that. So now tell me a little bit more about Rose City Professional Organizing. What problem are you trying to solve there? What's your service?
So the problem we're trying to solve for people is stress and overwhelm that's caused by clutter and disorganization. Whether that's in a situation of, more extreme hoarder scale where you're just kind of like either physically or emotionally or mentally unable to even clean up or throw things in the garbage can. We deal with people who are in that level of environment. And then we also help with people who, just have a lot on the go. They're working full time. They maybe have a few kids and they haven't decluttered the accumulation of stuff over the years. Maybe emotionally, they're having a difficult time saying goodbye to those things. There's a lot of emotions and reasons why we hold on to items. So the clutter is building up, and that makes it really hard to be organized because you can only organize so much before, the clutter is just the problem. And then we also help people that are stressed and overwhelmed with the downsizing, packing, moving, unpacking process. That's a big one. It's very overwhelming for people, especially now with a lot of seniors downsizing. They just physically can't do the work themselves, and their kids are too busy to or not even in town to help. So we help.
Yeah. So now I would imagine when everything happened there through COVID and we had people homeschooling their kids essentially from home, they were working from home, they were locked in. That must have created a lot of interesting conversations for you in this particular type of business.
Yeah, and that was my biggest launching point was COVID. I am actually very grateful for how it all worked out in that way. I mean, obviously COVID was awful, but I can say that COVID was a massive catalyst for my business to grow as it did. Number one, it got me laid off of my part-time job. So I went full-time with organizing. When I was focusing all my time and attention on this business, it was able to expand. And then once the lockdowns kind of
Yeah.
lifted that first summer and we were allowed to go in with protocols and safety in place, we were going in for moves mostly because that was an essential service. And then as it relaxed even more, we had people calling us being like, I am homeschooling, I am working from home, my house was already a disaster. I wanted to organize and declutter before COVID even happened. And now it's just so much worse. I cannot escape and ignore this problem anymore. And so, yeah, we like people reach their breaking point, and a lot of times that's where we come in. So it was so
Yeah.
incredible to be able to help so many people through that. The world was going through terrible times, and I felt like I was changing people's lives in the midst of it, and it was very rewarding. It is very rewarding.
Yeah. Yeah. Like this is the thing that I think a lot of people don't realize, but just about probably every house has a need for your service. It's not just, like people think of maybe hoarders or, people that are completely disorganized and have way too much stuff. It's about the functionality and the peace, though, that you also get uh, by having nice, organized, clean, places to live and to possibly work or be within, though, right? So it's a need that we all have.
Yeah, I do a lot of workshops and presentations about the 5 benefits of decluttering and organizing your home and then go into the steps. But those 5 benefits, I mean, that's why people call us, is because they want to relieve stress, they want to reduce anxiety, they want more control over their time and their energy, and they want to improve the relationships in their life, because a lot of times our relationships in our families are affected by the environment that we're in. And then we want to just improve our overall confidence and empower ourselves to be like, I can clean this up, I can declutter this and let go, I can make intentional choices, I can organize and systematize, and I can maintain, right? And that confidence, the builder, it's just massive. That's my biggest thing, is the empowerment part of it all. But they all
Yeah.
play a part together. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I am really glad that my camera does not pivot, because I would not want you to see the space around me here. So this is clean
Background was
on this
really
side, but yeah, yeah.
I'll
We
come
don't
help
want to.
you. I'll come help.
Yeah, well, I definitely need it. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your journey, though, because, like you said, the COVID basically had you laid off of your other job that then had you focus now on this side hustle in a full time capacity.
Mhm.
And so, what were you doing before? What led up, I guess, to this place where you started this business?
Yeah, it's a really long story, but I mean, I'll start with where I was a realtor in Fort McMurray before I had my children. When my first daughter was born, I was like, I cannot continue this real estate lifestyle. I need to be a stay-at-home mom. And then I discovered homeschooling, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to be home with these babies. And so I got a divorce after my second child was born and moved from Fort McMurray down to Camrose. And I was with my kids, and I said, I need to go to work. I need to support myself and feel self sufficient. And so I started to work at a bank. And after a year of doing that, I was like, I cannot work at a bank anymore. Like, just too many people all the time, too many issues, too many problems. And so I'll go work at an assembly factory where I can put my headphones in and ignore people all day. So it's like one extreme to the other. I was always in sales, always in marketing, always had entrepreneur things on the go with my dad. And then all of a sudden I'm at this assembly factory just doing the same thing kind of over and over again. And I was like listening to podcasts about investing and, making your money work for you. I'm like, that would be great if I had more money. I'm just meeting my basic needs right now. And they're like, well, you need to have a side hustle. And I'm like, what the? Yeah, okay, I could do it on the side. And I was thinking about different ways I could make some money with these two little babies. And my neighbor was unloading boxes from her car into her garage in the summer of 2019. Asked her what she was doing, and she said she was moving her dad into long-term care, so all of his stuff from the condo had to come out. And I was like, well, if you need any help going through it, let me know, and I'll help you sort it and categorize it, and we'll take it to him and see what he wants to donate or give away to people. And she's like, oh, that sounds amazing. So when I told my mom about this the next day, she's like, you could totally help people with their clutter. I'm like, yeah, I could be a clutter coach. So I Googled it, and the Professional Organizers in Canada website came up. I saw what some Edmonton organizers were charging on their website, and I said, I could do this. I'm going to try it. So I created a Facebook page like right away, posted on a bunch of mommy groups, buy and sell groups, Facebook groups, just saying, clear the clutter, calm your life. Because it wasn't about organizing. It was about decluttering for me. Yeah. And within 5 minutes, I had a lady message me and say, I want to sell my house or want to buy a bigger house. Can you come do my storage room like tomorrow, basically? She wanted me as soon as possible. I was like, oh my God, like I haven't done this for anyone before. I've only decluttered and packed my own stuff. And so I quoted her what I quoted her for 4 hours. I went with a piece of paper and just a really quick contract draft. And we did 4 hours in the storage room. She donated so much stuff, and we even had time to do her bathroom. And when I was leaving with like a van full of donations, she looks at me and goes, I don't need to sell and buy a bigger house. I just need less stuff. And I went, yeah, this is going to change lives. Like I called my mom and told her, and she's like, wow, okay, go for it. And then I told my babysitter's mom why I needed the babysitter to watch my kids for this storage room session. And she's like, you need to do my whole house. How much is it going to cost? And how long will it take? I'm like, 5 days, $2,000. She's like, sold. And she sent me the money, and I went and did her whole house. And I had all these before and afters. And oh my gosh, just by posting those on Facebook groups and Marketplace, I built my business. Like it was crazy. People were messaging me every day. I'm on my lunch break or, right after work or right before work, like messaging them, send me a video and I'll tell you how many hours or how many days we need. And like, it was crazy. Like, I don't even know how I did it with two young kids between the job that I was working and just all the drama going on in my life. But it gave me that kind of purpose to change lives, and it utilized my gifts and my skills and my talents and allow me to be that entrepreneur that I have a fire for. So it ticked all the boxes. That's how it happened.
It's so exciting to hear stories like that, right? Where you had no intention of turning this into this full-time business, and then it goes full-time, and now you've scaled to a place where now you have 12 people working with you, and so it's just absolutely incredible. What a success story. And so you should be super proud of that. Now, I know that every journey, though, comes with its own challenges. And so you've obviously had to overcome some challenges. Can you tell us some of the challenges that you have overcome and how you did manage to I guess, solve them?
I guess for me, the biggest challenge was once, 2021, when I went full time with it in October 2020, or it would have been May 2020. I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this by myself. I can take on all these clients. I can work 5 days a week. I can get homeschool babysitters. Like I can make this happen. And by January or by October 2020, I was like, I'm not making enough money. Like, whoops, my job paid for everything. And the side hustle was investing money. And now I don't have that investing money. This is not working. This is not fitting my plan. And I'm very, I tend to be impatient because I gave it from May till October, right? And I was like, this isn't working. But then I found a professional organizers mastermind, and I invested $5,000 into that program, just hoping that, they would help set me up for success with that. And in January, we had revamped my packages and my pricing and my offering and my website. And then we launched our Google ads in January of 21. And oh my God, my business took off. Like I was so busy. I was working all the time. And then I was coming home doing assessments and replying to messages and emails. And I was working weekends with clients. And I got to a point where I'm like, I can't keep doing this. So it was probably like summer of 2021, I was making the money, but I was burning out. And I was like,
Mm.
I won't be able to continue doing this. It's not sustainable at all. And my children were still really young, being homeschooled.
Yeah.
I was like, this is stupid. And then just like, I don't know, the universe heard me, and two people from Red Deer and Edmonton area reached out to me within a week and said, hey, like, how are you doing this business? Can I get some advice? And so I started telling them about it. And they're like, I don't want to do any of that. I just want to organize. And I'm like, and they're like, can I work for you? I'm like, sure. So I literally just had contractors fall into my lap because they didn't want to do the business side of it. They just want to organize. And from that point on, with the three of us working on projects and helping people and me being able to send them on their own individual jobs, I was like, I can help more people and make more money. And I don't have to do all of the work all of the time. And I
Yeah.
can on some
Yeah,
business
exactly.
building stuff and sales, which I love. I love sales and helping the client decide to book the packages. And so, yeah, from summer of 2021, I just realized I can outsource and I can hire and I can trust these people to help these clients just as well as I would. And then more and more people just reach out to me through my website. Are you hiring? Are you hiring? Are you hiring? And I put out an ad once last summer, but since then I haven't had to advertise. I just have people that see the website, see my reviews, and yeah, connect with me, and they just want to work with us. And it's amazing. I have amazing people. So blessed, honestly.
Yeah.
I know it's hard
Yeah.
to find these people, so I don't take it for granted.
Yeah, yeah, like exactly. Like to have those people just kind of fall into your lap, like you said, is such a gift. So that's really, really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing that you did mention to me before we hit the record button, and I guess you did kind of touch on it just slightly. Your dad has been a serial entrepreneur all of your
Mm-hmm.
life as well, and so tell me what it's like. I guess what you think anyway would be the benefits of having been raised in that environment, and how that has helped you propel your business forward.
Yeah, for sure. I think what I learned from I might cry because he passed away 2 Februarys ago. What I
Oh,
learned the most from him was just like, don't be afraid to try.
yeah.
Sorry.
Oh no, that's totally okay. Yeah.
It may not go the way you planned. And um, you may screw up along the way. You will screw up along the way, but like, don't be afraid to try. And
Yep.
don't, don't, yeah, don't quit. Like he gave up on some things, but he wouldn't be afraid to start something new, you know? Something he tried may not pan out, but he would start something new. And
Yep.
I think for me, that's the same. I've tried many things in my life for careers, and I think it's just a matter of recognizing like there's a season, there's a reason, there's something that you're going to learn from anything you do. So don't be afraid to try. Like don't avoid giving it a shot, because I mean you can miss out huge on amazing life lessons and amazing opportunities, amazing people.
Yep.
It's just, yeah, that's what I learned from him. And so I think my biggest lesson is just do it and
Yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah. Step off that cliff, right? Like, and that's one of the challenges I think that a lot of people who don't have entrepreneurial families as
Mhm.
role models or to have experienced that, I think it is way more difficult for them to take those initial steps
Yeah.
to risk it, right?
Mhm.
Because oftentimes I think for them they have family actually saying the exact opposite, which is play it safe. Go to school, get an education, work for a big company, play it safe.
Yeah.
But you have to be willing to make those risks. And if you don't have the support system around you that can really support you through that, it's even that much more difficult. So good on your dad for telling you to do that. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was.
So Now, in terms of the growth that you've experienced, it's been pretty rapid in the last few years here. Like you said, COVID was actually a positive for your business and helped propel
Mhm.
the business to, really start to take off. And then you've been monopolizing on that growth
Yeah.
trajectory since then. So I'm curious, though, the goals that you might have in terms of the growth for your business. What do you think are going to be some of the biggest challenges that you're going to face now going forward to reaching those goals? And how do
Mhm.
you think you're going to overcome those ones?
I know that the next point for me is to outsource, the customer like sales. I have a desire and a passion to meet with the client and to assess their home and to talk them through the process and to assure them it's going to be great and then to pitch the package that's best for them and close the sale. That's something that really gets me excited and I really love. And so I've just recently started outsourcing to my team to do some on-site assessments for me.
Mm,
But I still do the assessment, do from the pictures and do the quote and pitch the package and sell. So I think that's one thing that I'm seeing I will eventually have to let go of if I want to step out of business even more is the sales part of it and the customer, package pitch part of it. Because, yeah, to have one of my team members say, oh, this is going to take this many days with this many people. Here's a package price. Where would you like to pay? Credit card or EMT? Like to have one of my team
yeah,
members do that wouldn't really be that hard. Um, but again, I have an issue with like letting go. Little parts of my business because I'm like, this is my baby. It's like watching your child grow up. Right now, my
yeah,
baby is only 4 years old. Like, it's not even at like preschool stage yet. I'm just like, oh God, is somebody else able and capable of taking that part of it and doing it as well as I do it? But every time I've let go and I've trusted bit by bit in this business, I've seen somebody else do it really well or even better. And
yeah,
I've seen the benefits and the free time and the flexibility that come from that. And I'm like, yeah, I eventually could let go of that. I just have to train them well. And
yeah,
um, yeah, we can do this. But yeah, it's going to be a
yeah,
challenge for me to let go of that part of it for sure. Everything else I've
yeah.
let
I
go of too much.
I can imagine everybody listening to this right now are nodding their heads, going, "Yeah, been there, done that, feel that right now." Because this
Mhm.
is a common challenge for us entrepreneurs when we're founding our companies, building it, and we've wore all the hats or most of the hats, and then each incremental, step in the growth curve that you're taking, you have to let go of one of those things, and
Mhm.
so it is tough at times. It really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is going to be the last thing that you give up? What's the last hat that you're going to wear?
Oh, definitely the like sales pitch part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
because
yeah,
because I have, let my girls go and do the assessment and meet the client for the first time and take the photos and explain the process. And then they say, oh, well, how much is it going to cost? And I go, well, Krista will call you and let you know. So that I've kind of half let go of. And I've also let go of like a lot of the admin work and everything else. So I think that just that sales pitch of the best package for you, let's do the contracted invoice. And literally that takes me like 20 minutes to do the
yeah,
whole pitch package sale. And I don't know, it's just going to be really hard to let go of. But I know once I do that, it's going to free up so much time for me to focus on other things like presenting and workshops and conferences and then business coaching. These are all opportunities that are being presented to me more and more. And I'm like, I still have to meet with the client and I still have assessments and I still have to do sales. Like, so yeah, I know that's coming. I probably should have done it this summer, but
So now, when you reflect on the last 4 years,
Mhm.
what part of your business, of doing what you do, gives you the greatest joy? Besides, it sounds like you really enjoy sales, but
Yeah.
besides that, like I'm thinking broader than that.
I don't know because I mean, like I said before, that it ticked all the boxes for me.
Yeah, yeah,
Like the creating the content and posting the pictures and marketing, putting it on Facebook or creating the Google ads and you know doing the responding to a person who's interested, which is super exciting, and then getting them kind of curious and then on board and then doing the pitch and getting them to commit. That's super exciting. I love seeing the money hit the bank account. It's like, yeah, what I'm doing is valuable, right? And
yeah,
then
yeah,
getting on site and helping the person declutter and coaching them through that letting go and working through and making space for all those emotions. That coaching is so rewarding for me because I'm just like,
Oh, I
look at it
bet.
changing lives. And then
Yeah.
changing the space, like physically having a space go from totally disorganized and cluttered to completely clean and tidy and organized and labeled. It's just like, look at what I did in 6 hours. I'm amazing. Like there is results orientated, like checkbox checked right there. And then you walk away from the client, they're hugging you, they're thanking you, they write you this amazing review, and they send a friend to you that, you know, they refer. And then I love the networking. I love meeting other business owners. I love inspiring them with my story. I love coaching. I love speaking and workshops. I just love all of it. Like, what do
It
I
definitely
not?
sounds like it.
I
Like
love
the enthusiasm that you are expressing right now for all aspects of it is just completely infectious. Like
it. It's
it's coming
crazy.
through, I'm sure, to everybody who's listening. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's really, really special to be able to find something that is really energizes you the way that this does. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So now if you were to be able to send a letter back in time to your younger entrepreneurial self, what would you say in that letter to yourself?
Maybe don't be so hard on yourself.
Mm,
Give yourself
yeah.
some grace, give yourself some patience, let go of
Yeah.
those unrealistic expectations. It's okay to be a
For
high
sure.
achiever. It's okay to push yourself to the next level of growth. It's okay to, you know, want the next thing. But celebrate your wins and recognize when you have done things that worked, and see the success in the journey and in the process and in the learning. Success is not a point that you're going to get to. So just be gracious and patient with yourself and just don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
totally.
would
And
say.
enjoy the journey while you're doing it, right? And it sounds like you are. So that's pretty special. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story today, Krista. I really appreciate it. And I know that everybody's gotten a lot out of it. If we were to send people your direction, what's the best way for them to connect with you or to reach
Sure.
out?
Yeah, so if you like the before and afters, you could go to Rose City Organizing on Instagram.
Yeah.
But if you want to connect with me, my website is the best place. So it's rosecityprofessionalorganizing.com. And you can learn all about our services, whether it's decluttering, organizing, or packing, unpacking, or my workshops and presentations. I have a speaking page on there, and just love doing that either in person or virtually. And then if you're looking for business coaching, my business coaching page is there too. So you can contact me for any of those things. And yeah, I'd love to.
Great.
If you're interested in working with us as an organizer and declutter coach, you can apply to.
Always looking for good people, I'd
Yeah,
imagine, right? Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time today to share everything with us. And for those of you who are listening today, if you enjoyed this episode, want to check out some other entrepreneur stories, head over to amplifyyourbusiness.ca. And of course, you can find us on all the major podcasting platforms. Amplify Your Business is all you have to search, and we should pop up. Until next time, everybody have a prosperous day.